Um, so this video, how do you start games? How do you, what should your first moves be in a match in Galcon? Okay, so the idea is to get the cheapest planets near you as fast as possible, right? It's pretty simple, but there are wrong ways of doing it. One thing you want to make sure is you want to quickly identify which planets are cheap that are near you, right? This is me. These are the ones that are too far away. This one's pretty little. So what you want to do is then figure out. You also want to make sure that if there's a direction specifically that all the cheap planets are, you want to send a majority of your ships that way, right? Now, right now I'm using a fairly high percent, 75. It's probably a little too high for this situation, right? Because there's what, 14 and 15. So if I send a whole bunch of ships this way and some this way, that would probably be good. But here, I'm sending too many over here, but that's okay. It's not too big of a problem. Now, that's the very first thing you do. The second thing you do is you want to make sure you want to look at what everyone else is doing, right? So you can see there's much cheap planets over here. There's some over here too, and there's some right here. And then there's actually a couple way over here in that corner. And so by doing that, you can sort of predict what everyone's going to do, right? So this area here is pretty evenly split between these three, but not so much me, especially since I have these good planets right next to me. So what ends up happening here is blue, this blue, in this game, he ignores these planets and he just goes straight for this, I think, or maybe that guy, I don't know. He goes up this way, which basically guarantees me a win here, because I can very easily get these planets. I can work on some of these cheap, bigger ones, some of these other ones over here, and these two guys are fighting, and red is stuck with these. So I can very easily win this game. Okay, so here's another example. Classic mode. I didn't say that last time. Yeah, they're both classic mode. 6 players, 2 homes each, pretty big planets. Fairly large. 12 total, so it's pretty crowded. For me, let me see here, green, I guess. I'm probably going to take those few planets, maybe this one. Let's see here, what does... Okay, so white probably should go over here. He does not take this one. I think he focuses mostly on those. Watching these other guys. In this game, I think red sits. They just sort of sit there. They don't do anything. Although they probably should have gone here. Maybe gone for this one. This one. Let's see here. Light blue. I'll just use mint. No, that's not mint. That's a periwinkle. Goes after these colors. These planets. I think maybe some of these other ones up there, and then blue here. It ends up being a little too aggressive, and that makes it bad for him. And then purple. They just kind of, I think they end up just taking some more expensive planets. And they take some of these ones because red doesn't do anything. So, yeah. Right, so white should have taken this one, but he doesn't. Let's see here. I think purple ends up taking that one actually. Periwinkle ends up having to sacrifice quite a bit to take these. And then I end up getting a lot of this stuff. So there's no, massive mistakes that really cost someone the game early, but there are some little things that people do wrong. Alright, so again, you want to take, I think a big problem a lot of players have is they don't take quite enough time early in the game, like as the game starts, right? You can just take a full second or two, look around, look for cheap planets. When it's really crowded like this, you don't need to look at what other players have as their spawns as much as when there's only like one-on-one or when there's just 3 players or something. Maybe you want to look at see how people spawned, but in a game like this, just try to take cheap planets and watch what your neighbors are doing, really. Because you don't want to be, because if Red's just like sitting here, right, which he does, then I have to be fairly slow in taking out planets, because he's going to have like 150 ships right here. And so if I spend a lot, on like these ones, these 30s, maybe even these 40s, then he knows I don't have much left, and so he can very easily take them. No mistake I make is then I'll take this 29. Probably should have. I think purple ends up reacting to me not taking it and takes it. So I can show you what this game looks like. Okay, so again, to wrap up, you want to make sure you give yourself a second before you act. You want to make sure you take the cheapest planets that are closest to you. Generally below 20 is considered fairly cheap. If it's a crowded map, watch your neighbors, right? If it's a less crowded map, then you can figure out how other people spawned after you make your first move, right? And you should probably start most games with a percentage somewhere in the 50s or 60s. Then if you do this properly, you should have a decent start to every game. And if you do that, then you should have a good chance of winning most games. So, thanks for watching. Bye.